have our heir. Hooray! As is tradition, my wife Alexandrina underwent her churching after recovering and cleansing herself from the recent pregnancy. Unfortunately, her mood was not improved by taking the Holy Communion. Perhaps some old sin is still weighing on her soul. She must deal with the problem on her own. We don't have traits that would lend us to listening to her. That's too bad. At the moment, we are Sophia's educator. Don't have any genetic traits. You don't like me because of craven and cruelty. Hopefully we'll be able to get that to shift up. You've lost a few troops here. That's helpful. The cook had prepared a magnificent meal with lots of different fruits, various kinds of meat, freshly baked bread, and several mature cheeses. I try to eat modestly. Food is too good. I could get gluttonous, or I could move for temperate. Temperate's an excellent trait. This gives stewardship, church opinion. The only thing it does is lower people who are gluttonous' opinion of you. I think we will be temperate if at all possible. Get it? Get up. Hooray! Moderation is the key. I've gained the temperate trait. My liege, I'm pleased to report that your errant subject, oh my goodness, Briesta, has converted to the Orthodox faith. Praise Jesus. What was this? Just a random courtier? Okay. Great. More Christians in Sofia. That is the way of it. Now, as I recall, and it's so appropriate that we had a daughter as our first child here. It's okay. Recruitment drive. I believe we need to get to absolute cognatic, if at all possible. And in order to do that, we need to be Cathar, Massalian. Cathar and Massalian are the Christian heresies of that. And I'm not sure where we're going to pick up those yet. Somewhere down the line, we'll figure it out. I think Massalian is a heresy of Nestorian. I think if we get to Jerusalem, we can possibly become Nestorian. Well, this is way down the line. We could also do it if we increase our... What is it called? Status of women laws. Is that full status of women? That allows absolute cognatic succession laws. So, this is a little confusing too, but agnotic cognatic means that first tendency goes to men, then to women, whereas agnatic means only men can inherit, which is what we currently are in. Gavelkind is a type of inheritance that means that any heirs that you have, so in this case, since we're agnatic, all the male children we have, our entire realm will be split among them. At the moment, we only have one title. That's not a problem. It'll only go to one of them. But if we end up with multiple titles, this means that each one of them that could potentially have a claim will get a county for themselves. It does allow us to hold more counties ourselves, gives us a 30% larger domain, but it doesn't translate well through the centuries. And remember, this is a dynasty, not a single individual. What else do we have? So to get absolute cognatic, we've got to wait a little bit. We have to have at least ruled for 10 years, no matter what, to change any of these things. The succession laws, I mentioned Gavelkind. There's also elective Gavelkind, where you can elect the primary heir from among the members of the ruling dynasty, not just your children, but your cousins, everything like that. There's seniority, which means the oldest person of your dynasty inherits. There is primogeniture, which is the oldest child, in this case, male child, so the oldest boy would inherit from your family specifically, not of the entire dynasty. There's elective monarchy, which is everyone gets together and votes on who they want to be their next king, which does not have to be within a dynasty, and that can get very complicated very fast if you are voted out of your top place. It only happens at death. It's not like this is an every year thing. It's not a democracy. It's still a monarchy, but it's you are elected, you rule, you die. It's the end of your rule. And ultimogeniture is a very interesting option. This is, if primogeniture is the oldest child, ultimogeniture is the youngest child. So you just keep having children until you have one that you like to inherit everything you have. It's not actually practiced all that much in the real world, but I find it fascinating to have it available here as an option. Okay, so we cannot improve status of women yet. In order to do so, we're going to have to improve our tolerance technology. Yes, at level 3 we can get marginal status of women. We'll get there one day. There are 2 peasant families in Sofia who have been locked in a bitter feud for generations. This conflict has now escalated to the point where it is even discussed in circles of nobility. Although this feud would normally be far beneath your notice, this could be a golden opportunity to practice your diplomacy. We'll put an end to this squabble, sponsoring a meeting, or just let them sort itself out. What is our level here? We are not very diplomatic, but maybe this will help us become more so. We'll put an end to it. It seems that my interest in paganism has come to the attention of one of its practitioners within the realm. We met and have had the most fruitful discussions about theology and other matters. My interest in paganism being that I started out as Tengri, a pagan. But I made a friend. Oh, and it's my chancellor. Well, that's a good friend to have. You invited the 2 feuding families to a local inn, hoping to reach some kind of agreement. The peasants are seated at 2 opposing tables on either side of your position in the middle. Some have brought pitchforks. One clutches a live chicken, and all of them look moderately inbred. Oh my, this could be a challenge. Appeal to their sense of reason, or flatter them. Well, I think we're going to go for reason. This petty feud cannot continue, you begin. What do you suppose would happen if the great noble houses fought each other as you do, instead of working together for the common good? You must learn from our shining example, and... The peasants shout you down. It looks like things will be turning violent. You barely have time to dodge the chicken someone hurls your way. With a howl, the 2 families leap over their tables, throw themselves at each other with you caught in the middle. Clothes torn and covered in bruises, you eventually manage to crawl out of the inn as the fighting continues inside. Well, I did my best. Hooray! Extra diplomacy. We'll need that. Right. We have a daughter, but that does not give us an heir. Hopefully we will have a son at some point here, until we can make things so that we can have women inherit. It may take a while. Hey! My wife Alexandrina is pregnant again. And that 5 prestige is just, going a long way to getting us a little more prestige. Oh! Oh my! At age 43, your liege, King Boris of Bulgaria, was slain by Arpad in a chaotic battlefield duel. I have heard of Arpad. This does not bode well for Bulgaria remaining together. So, what does that mean? It means we now have a Tengri liege, King Vladimir of Bulgaria, who was the son of King Boris. Interesting. Can we do anything? Oh, well, we're still his commander. It's okay. But the council is now discontent. Our armies... Oh my! Bulgaria split. We now have Magyar over here, which is Hungary, I believe, today. Prince Dox of Bulgaria usurped the county... Okay, I don't care. Magyar conquest of Hungary has ended. King Vladimir of Bulgaria lost. Well, we're much smaller now. Are you rebelling? No? Yes? No. Your duchy has a red background. It's not confusing at all. The lords of Bulgaria have approved the institution of the regulated inheritance law. This means that we can no longer have someone inherit a county or a barony of any sort that falls outside the realm. Ooh, what is this? Revolt. Glad we're not next to it. Is this all held by the king? Goodness. This is all that duke. Huh. Well, maybe we can be made onto the council at some point here. Let's see. Ah, you are the Prince of Bulgaria. Yes. Okay. Another one could move in. Title revocation allowed. Oh no. Wait, are you Orthodox? You are. I am going to join your faction. That helps us get closer to being able to overthrow here. Pleased to report that your errant subject Bernardine. Where are you? Oh, my steward. All right, good job. Also, good job on converting people. That was just what I was saying before, that we've joined the faction. And one of my early goals here is to build up our county to be able to provide the material that we need. Okay, King Arpad Atmos of Hungary has decided to abandon nomadic life and settle down in Hungary with his followers, making a new homeland for the Hungarian people. Well, after he carved it out of us, so Magyar and Hungary are now separate. The nomads have stayed over here, and this is now a settled life over here. King Arpad Alamos, excuse me, the Brave. Well, he was brave enough to go in and get himself some land, I suppose. Leader of the Serbian Revolt. You have 1.6 thousand troops. We have 867. We're not going to be going after you. Okay, a son was born to Chief Marmes of Sofia and Countess Alexandrina of Sofia named Bogoris. Bogoris. What an interesting name. So we have Sofia. We should name this one something different. Perhaps Link, as he will be a link until we can finally get some female heirs in place. Meanwhile, time ticks on. Just kind of waiting for things to change, to improve. Castle walls have been built, and we feel all the more secure, and we can't afford any other modifications. So we need to get up to about 300 gold to get the castle town going. King Vladimir of Bulgaria has declared Bulgarian conquest of Soli on Valimir of Serbian Revolt. We couldn't do this ourselves, but our liege has just declared war on them. What's the goal of the conflict, I wonder? Just conquest of the county of Soli. Okay. Some independence factions forming. Improving relations. As much as this is strange, you are actually converting people. It seems to be working well. You should probably have... Well, you're only a 7. Do I have anyone better at spying available? Nope. Alright, let's have you go over here to Constantinople. See if you can't figure out some technology, because we definitely need that. Ooh. Bad we're not an independent rule. Are advantages to being such. They're after me again. Independence faction. I have been spending more time with my wife Alexandrina lately, and though of course we did not marry for love, I can tell it is growing between us. Ah, marital bliss. Yay, she likes me more. Finally, a positive liking. I think Marmaisov, or Makedonska, Minasova, or Minasov. I'm not entirely sure how these Slavic endings work, but neat. I will probably mispronounce some of these words over time. Prince Yakov of Bulgaria joined the independence faction. Go into hiding. We're not going to do that. The rise of the Shia. Schism at the heart of Islam dates back to its earliest days. The majority of Sunnis have long persecuted the followers of Ali, the Shias, forcing them into hiding. The partisans of Ali look to his descendants for leadership, but they are forced to keep their ancestry secret. Now, though, the Shias are mobilizing their strength behind a boy whom they claim to be Ali's rightful heir and imam. Other Islamic jurists claim that the boy is clearly a fraud, but to his followers he is the person they have been waiting for, and now they flock to his banner. And of course, as Orthodox, we don't really care what's going on in the Muslim world, but still interesting temporal information. Perhaps this will open up a path today. Let's see, you are Serbian. Interesting. My moodiness and tendency to lash out at people is getting worse. I slept too little and can't seem to stop worrying. Oh. Ain't stressed? Oh no. The Manichaean faith triumphant. The adherents of the Zoroastrian faith have steadily dwindled to the point where Manichaean believers are in the majority. This new state of affairs has reduced the Zoroastrian faith to a de facto heresy. All former Zoroastrian holy orders are now Manichaean. Interesting. Ooh. There is rebellion in Byzantine Empire. But with 7,000 troops, we're not going to do anything ourselves there. However, if our liege decides that after defeating the Serbians over here, that wants to move into Byzantium, I will gladly help out with that. Yay! War is over. Usurped a lot of titles. One Soli. See if, Father, calls Sophia, pulling my arm, pleading to play with her and her latest toy, completely oblivious to all the important work I am in the middle of. Sometimes this kid can really be insufferable. Not now, child. Oh, right, because of cruelty. Aw. Poor kid. Vasily of the Orthodox Uprising has declared Bulgarian Orthodox revolt on King Vladimir of Bulgaria. Ah, I see. Well, though I am marching into battle here, I am not personally going to contribute any troops to this war. Be some raised from within Sofia, but I can't help that. I do owe my liege a certain amount of troops. Drislav has arrived at the court. Okay. Who are you? Just a courtier. Bulgarian Orthodox revolt has ended inconclusively. Oh, hello, Gavril. You are... Oh, you just converted to Orthodox. Well and good. The lords of Bulgaria have approved the institution of the Religious Control Mandate Law. Oh my.